All right, guys. Hey, guys. Good to see y'all. This is first time back on here in a little bit for the Sunday school videos, but I'm just going to be very fast today. This is a story that pretty sure all of us know very well. Story of David and Goliath, and what all they accomplished in this time. And so I'm going to give you just a couple of points to hit on. We start off with the story of David being chosen as king, and then from there you see the story of David and Goliath. And so I just want to give you a couple points I think we need to hit on with our students. First of all, something we see in here that's addressed is that the heart matters more than height. And what I mean by that is that in here what we see is that David was chosen not because of his appearance in any way, but because of his heart. That he had a heart like God's, right? And so I think that's super important right here that we see. And so a couple of questions we ask: what are some expectations our culture usually holds for those who will become effective leaders, right? We have expectations for that. Or what are some snap judgments we tend to make about others based on their appearance? How does this account warn us against misjudging others? And so I think it's something that we need to look at. Like what we see here right now is that God looks at the heart more than he does the height. He looks at the heart and what's going on more than he does the height. But then even there's a question here that I think is great for us to look at, is that this right here is good, but also it's really scary. What does it say about our own hearts? Do our hearts reflect God's glory? Do our hearts look is in such a way that God is going to be the one who receives glory in our life? Are they pure? Are they noble? So we see that in the first part. Second part is this. It goes into the story of David and Goliath. And this is what I love about, if you read the story, what you ultimately see is that this is not really a story about just necessarily two countries, but about two gods. The Philistines are promoting their God, and Goliath is swearing on his God and making fun of our God. And it's going to be the decision of whose God is more important, whose God is better, whose God is greater, whose God is stronger. And what I love about David as you read is you just see his confidence in who God is, his confidence in the power of God. And this is not just some small act, this isn't just some wayward thought he has. I mean, this has been true in David's life that he's experienced. He talks about how the fact that, man, when he was out keeping the animals, him, ripping open the mouth of a lion and taking him down with a slingshot, with God's power. And so what I love about this in the story is that David knows what God can do, and because of that, he acts on it. And the question that we have to ask ourselves is, many of us know how powerful God is. Many of us know how powerful our Lord is. But so often we don't act. We don't live out faith. And maybe it's because we doubt that God can really do what he says he can do. David is confident in who he is. And so because of that, he goes forward to fight Goliath. They ask this question: what are some areas where you need to step out and demonstrate your trust in God through action? I think it's a good thing to ask our students, a good thing to ask ourselves. And then finally, what we see here is following up that this story is more than just two kings, but it is two gods. It's at stake here. This is good and evil that's going on. And what we see here is that this story gives us a glimpse at the bigger story in the battle, the bigger story in the Bible. We see right here. This battle is a glimpse of the bigger battle that we see raging. You see, it says this: in David, we see a picture of courageous faith in God's power. We also catch a glimpse of the bigger story of the Bible and of the coming king who no one would have expected or chosen to win the victory. But through his death and resurrection, he is mighty to save. This story is really a great story of a picture of Jesus, that what Jesus has done for us is shown here. That there was an enemy of death and sin and separation from God that was standing in front of us. And we, like the Israelites, were cowering back on our own. We were afraid to go for it. We knew we couldn't fight and win. But Jesus comes in front of us. He lives the life we can never live. He then dies the death that we deserve. Then he resurrects from the grave, showing us that he is the one who's all powerful. So I hope that's beneficial for you. Hope you have fun teaching it. Oh, last thing, talking about the heart. On the commentary section, the two paragraphs about the heart right here are great. So if you get a chance, please read over those. I think those would be beneficial for you. So thanks, guys. Hope you have a good rest of the day.